Smells freaking good. By the time you're watching this will mark my 3-week crippled versary. 3 weeks that I've not been walking. 3 weeks that I've basically been in bed for. So, happy 3-week crippled versary to me. When I made the last video, I had to go to a funeral. My granddad died. And it was like a 7-hour drive there and back. And the journey like completely fucked me up. And after I went away and came back, my leg got like so much worse. So my leg was getting better. I went to a funeral that made it a million times worse. And now it's only just started to get better again, but this is like the best it's been. Like I haven't been able to sit up. I haven't done one of these in ages. So I did an Instagram post and I was like, if you guys want to ask me like any questions, ask me questions and I'll answer your questions. I didn't want to make it like some shitty generic Q&A where it's like, how much protein to consume, sir? Like stupid fucking questions that you can just learn the answers off Google within 2 minutes, you know? I don't want to make it like boring shit like that. I want to make it actually like meaningful and interesting and personal. So I chose like the best questions. I haven't thought of answers to them. I've literally just print screened them. Before we get going though, there is a few things that I want to say. First thing is, I made an absolutely banging promo mix. I think it was last month. I forgot to tell you guys on here. So if you want to check this out. Second thing is, right, can we all say a prayer? I'm literally, it breaks my heart. Oh, fuck. Like, it was a long time coming. If anyone wants to buy a DJI Mavic Pro in good condition, DM me. Onwards with the Q&A. I'm not actually going to edit the Q&A part. So if it's rough, if it's a bit slow, deal with it, because I cannot be asked to edit a Q&A because it's the most boring thing to edit ever. So I'm gonna keep it raw. It might take me long to think of some questions, and I haven't really been talking to a lot of people recently either. Like I've been in my room just literally just like monging out on painkillers for the last 3 weeks. So when people like, I find when I've been on a lot of podcasts and people ask me a lot of questions, I have the answers like straight in my head to things, but because I haven't really been interacting with a lot of people other than like a few, I don't really have these like inspiring motivational answers at the forefront of my brain. So it might take me a minute to reply to them. The Q&A, here goes. Oh my day. Oh my knee. Oh my god, I'm not very good at doing this not editing anything thing because I've done about 5 takes so far and just remembered like I have to say this because there's loads of stuff that I forgot to say. Wobbs, okay? Before I get going, I've got to say it's going to forget. Wobbs are restocking tomorrow. There will be a small restock on Friday the 15th of March. Like, if everyone has been asking, I've got so many freaking questions about when Wobbs are restocking. They're restocking on Friday the 15th of March. I want to take this opportunity as well, after having used them a lot, like, because obviously I only had samples before, I want to say that I think the way I originally described them wasn't right. I was wrong in the sense that when you take them, I kind of described it like like you're suddenly hit by this like feeling, like it like hits you like a brick wall, and that's really not the case. Like, the way to describe it better, after I've got like lots of feedback from loads of you guys and hundreds of different people, is that when you take them, it kind of sneaks up on you. Like, you don't realise it's hit you until you like stop for a minute and then you're like, fuck. Like, it is kind of like a smooth euphoric feeling that sneaks up on you rather than like this crazy like in your face brick wall that like slaps you around the face several times. You're like, shit man, what's going on? It's like a smooth feeling, you know, it's a smooth feeling. And in terms of dosages as well, like it says 1 on the tub. I like taking 1, my mates like taking 1, but honestly I wanted to put 2 on the tub. Like, I wanted to say that you can take 2 just because like if 1 doesn't quite cut it for you, you can take 2. But my business partner didn't want to do that, and he like spoke to a lawyer and stuff just because it will make us liable in case someone takes 2 and they die. Like, they have, I don't know, they're sensitive to stims or they have a heart condition, so we couldn't legally do that. But I'm saying to you now, like kind of unofficially. Wobbs, right? First question then, we'll go on to this one. Will you make an even stronger version of Wobbs or a powdered version? Yes, I want to do a powdered version. There's a couple of reasons I want to do a powdered version. 1, just because like it's kind of a normal pre-thing to do. 2, because you can be like more customizable with your serving sizes. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really give a shit if people die because I'm a sociopath, and as long as I make money, I'm kind of like half joking. Like 2, because you can like be more controlling of the serving size. Do you know what I mean? Rather than taking pills. So maybe in the future, like towards the end of 2019, there will be a powdered Wobbs version that will be slightly different in formula. I might make it so it's more like hard hitting, so you literally feel it like slap you around the face, maybe some beta-alanine in it, and a few other bits as well. But no, like the general rule of thumb is the harder it hits, the harder you're going to crash. So that's kind of why like all the ingredients are dosed as they are in the current version of Wobbs. But we shall see. I might just be like, fuck it, let's just start killing people. All right, let's actually answer some of these questions now. I kept it like, I didn't want to answer like generic Q&A, generic questions like, how much protein do I eat, please, sir? And like stupid shit that you can just like get off Google in apps in 2 minutes. Like I've got people that don't even know my name asking me questions. Someone was like, oh, what are they like? You know, like, how can you please explain to me the dosages for your Himbine because I can't be asked to Google it? Well, tough fucking shit. I'm not Google, you cunt. Go and Google it. Yeah, I want to say as well that I get quite triggered very easily, especially when I'm in a lot of pain. Glenn Fitness asks, when me and you are shredded as fuck, are we going to record the sickest workout collab? Yes, we are, bro. 100%. I've never visited Ireland. And I want to visit Ireland. I do want to visit Ireland. So, bro, that'll happen soon. Let's just go to a festival, mate. Let's just go to a festival. 2019 travel plans. I like that one. Okay, 2019 travel plans. I'm meant to be going to Paris. What day is it today? Today. I'm meant to be in Paris now with VQ. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go just because I'm crippled and retarded. So I'm going to be stuck here for the weekend. In terms of like confirmed travel plans, so far I've got Portugal. I'm actually going with Brandon to do my skydiving for a week. Hopefully Brandon isn't too heavy and too like steroided up and he doesn't just like break the parachute and die. But like we won't say anything to him about that. And then I'm also going to Germany, FIBO. In terms of like traveling and stuff, like it absolutely baffles me that people, because I know that like a lot of people love traveling. People save up for months and months and months and months to go traveling for like a few months, and then that's it for the rest of their life. Like if you love something so much, why wouldn't you try and make it part of your life? You know, like it kind of makes me sad that I know it's really cliche thing to say, but people live for the weekend or live for like one small segment of your life. And that's what makes you happy, and then you go back to work and be miserable. Like, I know some people like it like that, but it does kind of make me sad in the sense that it's just a bit of a waste of life. So rather than doing that, I've kind of like put myself in a position where I can travel whenever I want and still make money and still do what I do. Do you know what I mean? Like I can go away, I can still make these videos, I can still get paid by sponsors for making videos, I can still do blah, 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 all this shit. But basically I've got something in the works as well which will enable me to get paid to travel, like to work with brands, to make videos and get paid to travel all the time. So travel plans, I'd like to go to America this year, I'd like to go back to Iceland. I've been to Iceland twice, I freaking love Iceland. I would like to logistics together, this is a tune. I'd quite like to go to back to Asia if I can handle the PTSD. And yeah, so that's kind of 2019 travel plans. But I basically just want to make it my life to travel and go to a lot more places, experience like a lot more cultures and stuff. How do you stay consistent with your social media? I don't. Like that's my biggest downfall. I don't. Rate your genetics out of 10. I'd say my muscle building genetics out of 10 are probably like a good, what are we gonna say? Like 5 being average. If 5 is average, like an 8 or a 9, I reckon. Labumba's probably like a 9, so I'd say 8. I'd say 8. Would you rather be strong as fuck but be fat, or be weak as fuck but be shredded? Weak and shredded. I'd choose to be small and skinny and aesthetic looking over big and strong any day of the week, you know, any day of the week. Would you rather be below 7% body fat or above? Just like magically below 7% body fat? Like, I didn't get it. If I can just be like, I didn't get a question. What are your biggest regrets from like 16 to 20? So like, stop saying like, Patrick1236. So like, things you wish that you did at that age. The main thing that I regret from being younger, like obviously, everything is part of the learning curve and like, fuck, everything is part of the learning curve and develops your personality, and you can learn from things and it makes you into the person that you are. And like even terrible events or massive mistakes, you still learn from them. Ignoring that, so you could say there's no regrets, but the main thing I would say that pretty much everyone when they're younger does, including myself, is is caring too much what people think. Like, you get so involved in things and you think it matters so much, like what other people think of you in school and how you appear to others and where you stand on like a social hierarchy, and trying your best to like fit in all this shit, and no one gives a fuck, you know. Like, I'm in contact with pretty much no one other than like a handful of people that I went to school with. Like, all these people that I'd like, seek approval from and worry about looking a certain way and stress myself out about doing certain things in order to fit in. Like, you just gotta realize that no one gives a fuck, and when you start doing things for you, doing things that you want to do not to get approval from others, that's when your life becomes a lot better, if that makes sense. So it's almost like, oh fuck, I don't know how to explain this. Next question. I can't pause it too long. I'm not gonna edit this video. I think it's like really good in a minute halfway through another question. Regarding protein intake, do you count trace protein? Oh, I thought this question meant, do you count protein? And like, I count absolutely everything. You cannot get a sick physique as a natty, or not even an unnatural, unless you track all of your food variables at bare minimum. Your fats, your carbs, your protein, most importantly your calories, you know? Like, you cannot get a good physique unless you track that. Well, you cannot get a world-class physique. But do you count trace protein? I assume you mean things in like vegetables and stuff. What I do is I track absolutely everything. Like, as I'm using MyFitnessPal, it adds it all up automatically. But things like, for example, when I cut, I'll have a whole broccoli every day, and that's gonna stay the same every single day, so I don't track that. And that's probably like 9 grams of protein. How to stop giving a fuck about what other people think? Over time, well, I wouldn't even say over time, it's one of the things that you learn. I think you've got to actively want to do it. And the only way that you learn something new, or the only way you kind of get over caring what other people think, is by doing the things that you think they care about. So, for example, if you're scared of doing a certain thing, if you're scared other people are going to judge you, maybe you should do that thing and make people judge you, and then you realize that the consequence of doing that thing isn't as bad as you thought it was, and then you build up confidence from not giving a fuck through doing the things that scare you. Like me with like getting naked in public, do you know what I mean? Like my leg, like I was always very conscious about it, so I decided I didn't want to be conscious about it anymore, so I started doing things like wearing a pair of Speedos around in public and making everyone judge me and look at me. Like the worst thing you can think of, like if you've got like social anxiety or if you're scared of public speaking, like do something that makes people look at you. Like in the gym, you're scared of people judging you in the gym, do like the most retarded exercise, like scream at the top of your lungs and make people like look at you, you know? You got to do the things that scare you, that you're scared of, in order to get past them. If you shy them away and shut them away, you're never going to grow as a person. You're going to grow into like some massive like beta, you know what I mean? That stereotypical beta single old man that's like scared of everything. Let me check the camera's still on. Oh, we good. We on 41% battery. That'll probably last about 3 minutes on this camera. Mentally, how do you shake off negative comments from people in the gym and in life? My philosophy has always been that unless you look up to them, like unless they really have a personality trait or something that you want to acquire, or they've like achieved something. Let's say like, for example, you could say I look up to Brandon, you know, like Brandon's absolutely killing it. His grind, his work ethic is like phenomenal. If Brandon came to me and said, Mo, like what you're doing when you do this on YouTube, I think it's fucking shit. Like I'll listen to his advice and take that negative comment because he knows what he's talking about. He is an expert in the field. But if someone from like, I don't know, my next door neighbor or someone from school was like, Mo, I hate your YouTube channel, and they work at like a petrol station or work in a shop for a living and have absolutely no idea about YouTube, I'm gonna not give a fuck in the slightest. So I think unless someone is an expert in terms of what they're criticizing you in, don't fucking listen to them. Who gives a shit? And it comes back to that whole like giving a damn about stuff, you know, like listening to people and caring about the opinions of others. Like why should you care? Like they haven't achieved what you want to achieve. Like going back to Brandon's absolutely killing it on YouTube. He has achieved like what a lot of people want to achieve, so you should listen to his advice. But majority of other people haven't, so fuck him. Like I was literally told not to make a YouTube channel because I look like a weirdo. Like some of my friends literally said, do not make a YouTube channel. Like that was their exact, when I made it, I used to get ripped. And the same people like still try and do and like take the piss and try and rip me and stuff. but they're doing shitty jobs and I'm getting paid to be fit and travel the world, you know? So it is what it is. It is what it is. Weirdest festival experience. Okay, I guess a good one. This is a good one. I thought long and hard about this one. I did think about this one. And the weirdest festival experience would probably be, it was back in the day when we first started going to festivals. And oh god. First started going to festivals, right? And I went to this festival. And it was all the boys were there. I met this girl. Had a sick night. Danced my little arse off. Night came to a close, and then the girl asked everyone to come back to her tent. Everyone knows what that means, so I went back to her tent, slept with her. It's probably like, I think it's like July, so it's quite like, it's summer, so in England it gets light very, very early. It probably gets light about 6 o'clock. I slept with her about 5 a.m, fell asleep with her in her tent. It was just me and her. And then I've been asleep for about half an hour, right, on this like cold, hard, it wasn't really hard, there's grass, it was hard. Just like on this cold, hard, like tent floor for about half an hour. And I awoke to something, and I felt like something wet, like trickling down my leg on the floor. And I woke up and I was like, all right, what is that? So I sat up, bolt upright. I was like looking around this tent. It wasn't pitch black because the sun was just started to creep up. So it was like, do you know that very like early morning, like dawn, like glow where you can just about start to see things? Like the sun isn't up, but you can see like the sky's kind of gone like a purpley colour. And like in this tent, I was like looking around. I was like, there must be like a bottle of water of something that's like spilt, or a drink that's like not got the lid on. And I was like looking around everywhere for like a trail, or like where it had come from. Because obviously if you're lying in a tent, it like flows down to the middle. And I couldn't find anything. I was like, literally in a pool of water. I was like, what's going on? I was like, hang on a minute. No. I was like, no. And I came to the conclusion that she had pissed on me. Like, this isn't confirmed. I do not deny or confirm this. But had another little scout around for his bottle, couldn't find anything. And I was like, right, fuck this. I'm not waiting to see whether this is piss or whether this is a drink that has fallen over my tent. I'm getting the hell out of here. So I had like, I put on these like soaking, do I have my jeans on? Yeah, I already have my jeans on. I walked out with like these soaking wet jeans, like my whole right side was freaking soaked. Walked out of his tent. This is a festival that he broke into as well, so I wasn't even meant to be there. Walked out of his tent, like, it was like completely still and silent. It's that time in the morning where everyone's gone to sleep. Like even the people that scream like all freaking night and make loads of noise, even those people have gone to sleep. It's like 5:30, 6 a.m. by now. Did like the most like disgusting walk of shame out of this tent. Like a 10-minute walk back to my car with this like wet stuff chafing on my legs. Got back to the car, knocked on the window where like Tom and Alex and stuff were. I was like, bro, like help me. Got a bottle of water, like just poured it all over myself because I felt so dirty and disgusting. Took the jeans off, just like tossed them, and then luckily I had some clean ones in my car, and like never thought of that again. But that's probably the weirdest festival experience ever. There's loads of weird ones, but that's probably like the weirdest slash grossest one. The time that I was pissed on by someone who I slept with. I wasn't like pissed on, like I'm not into people pissing on me during sex. Like it was like when they were asleep, probably, if it was piss. But let's just say it's water. Okay. How would you cope if you could never walk again because of your leg? I'll get it chopped off. 100%, I'll get my leg chopped off. Tanning advice, your tan is always on point. I've actually got some Indian genetics in me, so that probably helps. But in terms of tanning advice, I just use this like L'Oreal spray on tan stuff. Like it's expensive, but it's like really, really good. When I can be bothered, I use that. Very occasionally I do use sunbeds because I find it's like good for, I get a little bit of acne on my back. I find it's good for the spots on my back. Like it makes my skin short term nice, long term probably gives me cancer, but I use a bit of that. Other than that, like I just tan quite easily and try and get in the sun. You're on a desert island. What 3 things do you have with you? That's a hard one. Oh, that's a real hard one. A gun and 2 bullets. Fuck living on a desert island. Are you looking to expand and make more supplements aside from WOBs? They're too good. Yes. there's some things I need to talk to you guys about actually. Whether I will do some more things under Motec Labs, but I'm making some big moves in terms of supplements and euphoric stims and things like that. So I'll have to like speak about that to you later. How to get engagement on social media and how to know what to post / relevant. I'm probably the worst person to ask like about social media because I'm terrible at it, you know. You gotta look at like guys like Andre, which are literally like follower machines, you know, like Andre and Grace Fit, like people with huge followings. Like I don't do all the right things. Like I should do things a lot differently if I wanted to grow more, but the things that I do is I'm literally just myself, you know. Like I think it's insulting when people try and pretend to be something they're not, because I'm not a fucking retard. I can tell that you're pretending to be someone different. Do you know what I mean? As soon as you watch someone that's fake, you know straight away. So just be yourself, and that's it, you know. Don't post crap, like develop a personal connection with your audience, give them value, and yeah, like I want to be at a stage, I am kind of at a stage where it's not really, I don't really have to post value anymore because you guys are like invested in me. Like a lot of people just like watching my shit for who I am, and I really rate that. I like being in that position rather than having to like Atheline X, for example. People only watch him not because of who he is, they don't give a shit about who he is, but they watch him for advice. And you guys might watch me for advice from a more personal level. Would you rather have a dick-shaped nose or a nose-shaped dick? A nose-shaped dick, as long as I can still please girls with it. Best training split and diet plan for someone who has a slow metabolism? What stupid question. What's the best night out you've had? Probably Lockdown Festival with Millie, my mum, and Benj. I think it's a YouTube video. That was year before last. Like, that was an absolutely lovely night. Lovely night. Does your Instagram get you birds? Yes and no. Like, you'd think that, you might assume that like, oh, this is a tune. Let's print screen that. You might think that like, you'll get like a influx of DMs of girls asking you to fuck him, and like that doesn't really happen, but you do get like quite a lot of people talking to you, so it makes life a lot easier. The main thing is though, the best thing is with having an Instagram following, right? And this is the most narcissistic thing, but I fucking love it. Like there is no better feeling. I feel sorry for anyone that has an Instagram following and has not done this. Like I'm telling you, do this right now. It's when you get to go to a festival, when you meet someone and like they're like, oh yeah, what's your Instagram? And then you just like casually tell them, and then they like type it in and they're like, oh my god, he's got 200 followers. Like they like fucking like freak out like you're something. You know what I mean? Like people, if you haven't got, people like idolize you like you're some celebrity. That makes it a lot easier when it's like you're famous. And I fucking love that, just to watch their eyes like light up like little magpies, and you're like, yeah boy, it was all worth it, all the grinding and all this shit, just to see that reaction from girls at festivals. Where did you get your perspectives on life from? Parents, uni, self-developed? I think any kind of views you have is a result of the environment that you've grown up in. So obviously my parents kind of kickstarted it all because they're kind of the people that give you like these core principles and beliefs. My friends, the people I've hang around with, like haven't like literally had such a huge influence on my life, especially like the friends of my last 5 years, like Labumba and Brandon, and like all the people that I've met like have such a good mindset. And like you kind of, when you do something you love, you meet people that have a similar mindset to you, and then because they have a similar mindset to you, your ideas they kind of like encourage that positivity. Do you know what I mean? So like being around those people, like you bounce the good vibes off each other and those good vibrations, and then it grows and grows and grows and spirals out of control. So like definitely the people that I've met are my friends, like 100%. And then you can kind of like, a massive part of perspective has been from books as well. Like since I've started reading, like that's changed my life massively, you know. It is a chore for me, like I'm not naturally someone that can just pick up a book and read, but when I do get around to reading, I need to read today, I haven't read in ages, it does like, it makes a huge difference in my life. Ooh, 27% battery. How to grow height, please. Give me information, Mo Samuels. What's the craziest pre you've ever had? Obviously, being biased to Wobbs, like Wobbs is a pretty solid one. That's definitely up there. Other than that, I'd say Alpha Dark Side. You know, decent, very very decent. Edge of Insanity, like that was the original OG Crazy Pre, but that's kind of just like your Himbine, you know, like it is crazy, but it's mainly just your Himbine. But obviously, all a pre-workout is ingredients thrown together. So yeah, I'm gonna say Alpha Dark Side. That's probably my favorite. Favorite drum and bass artists. Ooh, I'm gonna have to go with, without sounding too much like a fanboy, because I am gonna be doing some filming with him, which is absolutely sick. Metric, like I love the sounds that Metric makes. Being someone like that's a bit nerdy, likes video games. A lot of his stuff, like I really get that like kind of video game. I love sci-fi as well, like sci-fi vibes from his music. So Metric, I do like Wilkinson. Like I've kind of listened to him a bit too much. So Metric, Wilkinson, Friction makes some absolute bangers as well. That'll do, won't it? Logistics, as in I'm listening to him right now. Logistics is sick. When will you have kids in the near future? Tomorrow I want to have some kids, decided. No, probably, it's weird, you know, like when you're young, when you're like 15, 16, you're like, oh yeah, I'll have kids when I'm like 22, 23, 24, 25. But then you get to that age, you're like, nah, fuck that. So absolutely no clue. Like probably like realistically like early 30s. Is when I will have kids. Like, who knows, man? Maybe I won't have kids. Maybe I'll die alone as an incredibly sad old man. Maybe I'll die tomorrow. The world has lots of surprises. Did the SARMs affect your lymphatic system? Yes, I'd say they did. That's one of the reasons why I would not take Ostarine again. Or I'm kind of put off from anything, you know, like especially steroids. Like even people are like, oh, it's you can take steroids safely. Like the thing is that the rebound in estrogen, like estrogen affects the way your body retains water and aka swelling. So with my leg, that rebound on estrogen, even from something like Ostarine, because obviously you take Ostarine, it increases your testosterone, you stop taking it, and then you get like a rebound. Or you basically get higher estrogen levels than you're meant to have. The presence of estrogen kind of fucks up the way your body retains water, and it did make my leg significantly worse, I think, you know, like significantly worse. So I would not do it again. Right guys, you have to let me know how you found that, because I'm not editing that. I'll leave the middle like unedited, as you've just seen. And normally I cut stuff down really concisely and I say stuff a few times and I kind of think through answers and shit like that. But let me know if you like this kind of raw style of video where it is literally just like you're sat down having a conversation with me. I feel quite spaced out actually as well. Like, I haven't had any painkillers today or anything like that. I randomly feel like really spaced out. Maybe it's because I've been lying down for 3 weeks, and other than a few occasions, this is the first time I've sat up. Well, this is the first time I've sat up in about a week. That could be it. But yeah, keep it, guys. I love you to bits. Wobs are restocking tomorrow. Small restock. If you want to grab one, there will be a link down below to some Wobs. And peace out. I love you to bits. Say it again. Bye.